Man, this is a totally different style of play. The pace is a lot different. It's not like college when you come down, kind of settle down and run a play every time. Everything is non-stop moving. But it's good for me. I've been working on my body, man. This is what I've dreamed about. Just being here. Everybody doesn't get a chance, so it takes up for any doubt that I have for myself or any mistakes that I'm making out there in the court. So, like I said, I'm just happy to be here.
You mentioned the things you're trying to improve on. What are some of those things that you've been hearing that you need to improve on?
First of all, just the condition, making sure I'm in shape. Sometimes, guys, all of us in general, we get kind of lazy, we get tired. And, it's about, they want to see, what decisions can you make when you're tired. You know what I mean? So, I was a little winded. Not gonna lie, I was a little winded. Played for a little while and I made some pretty good plays. So I thought my decision making was better than I expected. Something I worked on. So that's definitely one area. And then just being simple on offense. They always preach to us less is more. And that's something I'll try to work on.
Which Purdue game do you feel most confident in right now?
Just my passing ability. My ability to get other guys involved. That's something I thrive on. So that's kind of what gets me going. Just seeing other guys succeed on and off the court, but just making those plays on the court. Whether it's making a pass, for another guy to score. I thrive on things like that. So I think that's probably my strongest asset. And as far as my asset to bring to a team, I feel like I can help them.
Lastly, being at the Combine in your home city, how much more special does that make it for you?
Man, it's a blessing to be here. It's something you just don't expect. Especially knowing my journey and knowing where I come from. You would never expect anybody that's went through what I went through to be in this position. So, I'm just taking advantage. Every day it's a new journey and just having fun.
You mentioned the struggles that you've been through. How has that impacted you to get where you are and to be in a better place mentally?
Definitely is. You just use it as motivation. Everybody approaches it differently, and I'm the type of guy. I come from humble beginnings. Very humble guy, probably the most humble person you'll meet. Never thought I was better than anybody, but I knew for a fact that I wanted to be different. I wanted to be unique. I wanted to separate myself from other players. And, that's something I've thrived on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You and Kofi just can't get away from each other, huh?
Yeah, man. It was definitely gotten a lot better from coming out of Illinois. We cheered each other on, man, and it's all competition. We live for this. Just to see each other here, man, it's a blessing. We got a kind of special grudge right there in the big man area. And, it's usually a lot of fun when we're playing against each other. So.
Hey, can you tell me about leading those fast breaks? Is that something? Have you been working on like ball skills, things like that, ball handling, whatever it might be?
Definitely been working on it. A lot of times in college you don't get to express all those things because you got to play a certain role. Not to say I never had those things. I feel like they were always there. I just, in order to fit into a system and to be successful, you gotta play a role and be good at your role. And that wasn't my role at Purdue. Like I said, everybody's journey is different. But like I said, it's always been there. This is different. The Combine kind of allows you to be more free and show other aspects of your game. So I guess I was able to bring those all together.
That was my next question, actually. What can you do that people haven't seen you do yet?
Definitely can shoot the ball at a pretty decent clip. I feel like I'm probably the best ball handler and passer out of the big man here. Like I said, I don't like to kind of put myself above everybody. Like I said, I'm a very humble guy, but playing at Purdue, a lot of people haven't seen what I really can do. So being here and this is, like I said, it's special, but just being here just allows you to be more free on the court. Allows you to show those things. So it's been a lot of fun.
When you kind of have to start at the bottom again, a lot of guys have to kind of find their niche. What would you anticipate as of right now, maybe being a niche you can carve out on an NBA team?
Man, it just comes with understanding the system and understanding the style of play. Like I said, it's totally different from college. And, I think that's probably the toughest part for a college player or a high school player, whoever the case may be, just adjusting and making that transition from where you came from before and adjusting to the NBA system. A lot of these guys in here come from teams where they're the best player on the team. And you get here, it's like you got like 10 of those guys on one team. So it's all about knowing how to fit in and those little things. Like cheering guys on, picking guys up when they fall. Being loud on the bench, having energy. All those things. Those little things matter.
I know
Did you enjoy just hooping and getting a chance to play? A lot of this is testing and questions, but getting a chance to get out there and play the game.
Man, this is where the fun starts. I think everybody was waiting on these 5-on-5 games. We've kind of just been walking around the hotel, just staring at each other. It's been a little awkward, but I think everybody's been waiting on the 5-on-5 games. This is what we live for. We live to just be out here and just hoop. So like I said, it's been a lot of fun. I'm sure these next couple games will be a lot of fun to watch because this is what guys look forward to. So.
How'd your time at Purdue?
I'm sorry.
Do you think you benefited from that experience?
Say it one more time.
Do you think you benefited from that experience, getting out there and getting a chance to play?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Like I said, it's something I've been waiting on. I've been looking forward to this just to see. I wanted to, kind of get a feel for the pace of the game. It's definitely a lot different. I want to get some knowledge from the coaches. They don't want to teach us much because at the end of the day it's about us and we're getting evaluated and they don't want to put a whole bunch of plays in, but just knowing what they know is just honestly a blessing. Like I said, everybody doesn't get this chance, so it's all about just taking advantage.
How'd your time at Purdue help prepare you for this?
Well, I play with a lot of good players. I definitely think Zach Edey will probably be sitting here next year at some point. You guys have already seen Jaden a ton on TV and here. So, like I said, I play with a lot of good players who I could potentially be playing with in the NBA. So, I feel like we prepared each other well, and it comes with just going hard in practice, making each other better. Like I said, those two guys are NBA caliber players, and like I said, we always try to push each other and just make each other better.
You have a unique skill set. Do you take pride in the versatility you possess as a player?
Definitely take pride. Growing up, man, my parents always told me not to be one-dimensional. Not to settle for just being a post player. I always want to add more to my game. Obviously, the game is changing. You got 7-footers bringing the ball over. So definitely the game is changing. So you have to be able to adjust and add to your bag as you're going.
Are there players that you resemble or model your game after?
Definitely. I would say like a Trevion Green, somebody who facilitates the offense. That's where I'm most comfortable. More like a Jokic. Just the work he does on the block down low, and then like a Julius Randle. Somebody who can, he's like a 4-5, can handle a little bit, he can shoot it. Those are three guys that I kind of idolize and kind of see my game after.
I'm sure everybody would say they're in the best shape of their lives right now, but it certainly seems to apply to you. What have you been doing here the last couple of months to get yourself where you are right now physically?
Well, for me, man, the biggest thing has been, just separating myself from people who don't make me better. A lot of times, I'm a people's person. I love everybody. I try to be. I want everybody to like me. That's just how I've always been. But making a sacrifice to kind of separate myself from certain people. For the betterment of myself, I've been by myself, just working on my body constantly. I've cut people out of my life that it was hard to, but in order for me to be successful, it's something I had to do. So I think that's been the biggest thing for me, just kind of separating myself and trying to get my mind right.
Have any teams had you in yet, or does that start after this, or how does that work?
I have a couple teams after. Before this, I had the Celtics and I had the Bucks.
And the Bucks?
Yeah, those are two teams. Those are two really good workouts. I think I got the Kings right after this. Probably my next one coming up. The Kings and I think the Warriors. I don't know my exact schedule off the top of my head, but I definitely got a lot coming in.
What kind of feedback are you getting in terms of how an NBA team would see you? Are you more of a kind of 4, more of a undersized away from the basket 5? How does that?
Every team is different. Every team has a different system. Every team says something different. So until draft night comes, you know, I'm just gonna do what works for me and kind of do what I've been successful with. Continue to work on my body, and you know, whatever role I need to play, that's the role I'll play. So, you know, obviously being at Purdue, you know, coming off the bench, I definitely don't have a problem with playing a certain role on the team. Whatever helps the team win. Like I said, every NBA team is different. You know, some people may need me for other reasons, whether it's just to be a cheerleader or you know, be a facilitator. You know, it's different. So, like I said, I'm just gonna keep put my head down, keep working, and you know, we just kind of go from there.
To that last point, how much have you been emphasizing your success, the winning mentality that especially you had at Purdue?
Man, it's just you always think about the outcome. You know how things could be. You know, always think in my head like what kind of player would I be if I was to get in shape and really commit to this and say no, this is something I want to do. And that's something I've been working towards. You know, I'm not fully where I want to be. Like I said, there's always room to improve, but I do think I'm a lot better than I was a year ago. You know, I'm a lot better than I was a couple months ago. So, you know, I feel better physically and mentally. You know, like I said, I've just been working on myself, man. Most importantly, you know, just not trying to think too much, just having fun with whatever it is I'm doing.
Do you have a chance to soak in this experience, or does it just seem like you're going from one thing to the next?
You know, there's a lot of things coming at you, left and right. You know, very busy schedule all day. You know, they got you getting up at 8:30. You know, you're doing stuff all the way from 8:30 to probably 5 o'clock. You know, so you know, this is what we asked for. You know, this is the lifestyle that we asked for. I'm not even NBA. I'm not in the NBA yet, but I know for a fact that NBA guys now. The guys are super busy. You know, they're always doing something. They're always on the move, playing 82 games. You got endorsements and all that stuff. You know, you're going to be busy. But you know, this is what I signed up for. So you know, obviously, it's way different from college, where you have a set schedule and you got to kind of like 3 or 4 things that you got to do. But here it's different, man. Like you're always on the go. So. But, you know, like I said, everybody doesn't get this opportunity. So it's been pretty easy to kind of soak up, just being there.
Have you thought ahead to draft night where you might spend that time?
I've tried my hardest not to think about that. Actually, Bobby Portis came in and talked to us yesterday, and he talked about how he went and worked out for teams and how they told him that, oh, we're going to pick you, and we want you, and those teams never end up picking him. So where I go, second round or undrafted, man, it doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, I'm doing what I love. There's plenty of guys in the NBA who are successful now that didn't get drafted. So I've never worried about that. Like I said, I'm just happy to be here now.
Do you know where you're watching? Like, who you're watching with?
With the draft?
Yes.
Most likely my family, my support system, people that got me here. I'm not the type of guy to have a big old party. I feel like everybody doesn't deserve to be a part of that. I feel like everybody who's helped me be successful. I just mentioned, I had to cut some people out of my life to kind of better myself. Everybody doesn't deserve to share that moment with me. So most importantly, it'll probably just be a couple of my family members, and that'll be it. So
Back here in Chicago, probably?
yeah, definitely.
Are you doing anything fun, hometown friends while you're here, seeing your family?
Not really. I mean, probably the most fun, probably just a big dinner. That's enough for me. Being an athlete, you don't get to see your family as much. So just them being in my presence, man, it'll be a blessing. And, like I said, it's enough for me.
One thing I've always heard from guys who go to the NBA is maybe when they're the best players on their college teams, they don't realize how hard it is to make the NBA and then stay in the NBA. Have you kind of conditioned yourself to understand this is going to be, the hard work starts now kind of thing?
Definitely. It's as hard as it is to make it. It's harder to stay. And actually, Bobby came and talked about that yesterday. It's once you make it, it gets even harder. Guys are coming in and out. You got, you just want to, you want to earn that contract. You want to earn. People's respect, to say that you belong, in the league. So, I definitely have the understanding that it's going to be even tougher. That's why I never want to settle for obviously I'm in the best shape of my life, but like I said, there's always work to be done.